Hey folks, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. And in this episode I just want to talk about bike lift. These days, kind of luxury, I've got one of these here jack up hydraulic cruiser bike lifts, which is great for the Harleys. Just whoosh it under, jack them up, job done. But before I had that, I've seen a few people talking about that they have to get someone to stand the bike upright when they want to do anything on the clutch case, or I think Quiet Man, he contacted me a little while ago, said, I watched one of his videos, he just said that when he changed the clutch inspection cover, the Derby cover, he put a new one of these on, he had to get someone to stand the bike up because the oil drains out. And there's lots of jobs that you do on cruiser bikes where you have to have them upright, and as we all know, cruiser bikes don't come with main stands. You have to get them upright on some other method, and those hydraulic lifts over there are about 250 quid. You can get cheap ones from about 150. That's just a lot of money. Japanese bikes, touring bikes and so on, they come with a nice handy main stand, or even a paddock stand. You can get all sorts, but you really can't get anything for these. So before I had that, I just want to show you what I used to use. It was this, just a big old lump of wood. It was a frame made out of 4x2. I've got 12 foot of builder's timber, cut it into a square frame and put 2 little feet on it. 4x2, that makes that 6 in all, and you just get it underneath the frame and jack the bike up with a trolley jack at the back and then push it under, and the bike stands neatly on that. The reason I've made it shallow like this and not longer for stability is that in the middle of the frame on my particular bike, the main stand gets in the way, so you can't push it right through because it hits the stand, and then that's a pain. So I made it shorter, and I made a block which goes at the front of the frame so it's nice and stable once it's up. If your bike doesn't have that, you can make it longer like that for stability. Entirely up to you. I'm not going to teach you how to suck eggs. It's quite obvious how to make this. You can do a nice mitre joint, you can do some nice mortise and tenons, whatever you want, but really, to be honest, you don't need to. Just whack it together with some big screws, make it nice and beef, and that's the point. It's got to hold 1/4 of a ton of bike, so softwood is good because then it doesn't scratch your frame rails, and it's also a bit flexible. And once you've got this, it's a great workshop tool. I just put bits of sheet metal and beat them over the edge of it. I use it for drilling on, from drilling number plates, as you can see. You know, it's just a great piece of kit. So that's my solution that I used to use for getting my bike up on a lift, and also storing it in the winter when I put the bikes away. They go up on the lift and it leaves them upright up against the wall. That's if I'm not going to ride it for a while. That then gets the tyres off the deck, which means you don't get that 50p size flat spot which takes ages to go away and sometimes doesn't at all. So that's it. Let's show you how to get up on there. It's a bit awkward, but 2 or 3 efforts you'll get it, and then you can make one of these for yourself and stop having to get your friends to stand your bike up. And you can also get your wheels out, take them to the garage, get the tyres changed while it's still on the lift. And that's one of the biggest ball aches with Harleys. This also works for any other cruiser. You can use it for all the Jap cruisers, anything that's got 2 long frame rails. And if you look under your bike and you see 2 long frame rails, you can use one of these. But all you need, the most important thing is, my frame happens to be 4 inches off the ground when the bike's upright. So I've made it 6. I believe 2 inches more then the settled frame height is what you need. So if your frame is 6 inches, you need it 8. If it's 5, you need it 7. Mine's 4, so I have it 6, and you can choose whatever wood you want. You could use a piece of 6x3 roof joist and then just make a square frame. Really, the options are endless. Do it how you want to do it. The most important thing is make it beef so it doesn't twist or buckle or fall over, so you end up with your bike falling on your head, which would be quite disappointing and could spoil your whole day. So let's show you how I get that up onto there. First thing is you've got to get your trolley jack that you use to jack your car up, and I use one of these, just an old Lloyd block, which is sponge and sandy, so it grips and it's nice and soft. And take it from me, there is nowhere to jack a Harley Sportster up when it's lowered. These don't go under, it's just too tall, it won't go underneath the frame. So you've got the balance pipe under here for the exhaust, and that is solid cast steel, and it's bolted to the frame and the engine here. It's very beef, so it will go under the latter half that rises, and just put the spongy block under, and you just jack up against it make sure it's nice and safe when it bites. Get the handle in. Make sure the steering's to the left, otherwise it will slam to the left. Make sure it's on the side stand, and if you've got a spare person, get them standing that side, just in case, you know, just for safety. So when you jack up, you can see that it's going up. This won't hurt the rubber engine mounts. They can withstand a lot more than this. You just jack gently on there. This is a cast steel tube. It will not break. It will lift the bike like that off the ground. You're jacking against the side stand. You can see the back wheel's already off, but it will come back down when it levels. So just get that safely up there. You can soon feel, and then you can see your stand. There's loads of room. So line the stand up. The side stand, the other side, is facing down to the ground because the bike's resting on it. So that's why this is short and not all that long, because it will hit the side stand. So you make it short and it goes behind the stand. So just get it mounted underneath. And just get that started so that effectively the two rails are on it, just there. And then we're going to lift up and slide them along. What we do is whack your foot against it, pull the bike up, and there it goes underneath. As soon as the bike comes up, it comes up level, you just kick it under like that. Have a look at the other side, frame's tweaking out the other side, and then gently let, this is the little bit of control, hold a foot keg or something solid, just gently let the jack down. And as you see, the bike just comes up level. And that's it. Now the bike's up on the stand now, and you can slide it. It's only softwood, it won't hurt your frame rails. You slide it towards you, nice and solid the other side, and there you're on the lift. Back wheel's off the ground. If you want the front wheel off, it's ever so simple. That's where you use this piece. And that goes under the front of your frame rails there, and then just slide the bike backwards a bit, lift it back on the rack, and then it will tip back and it will get the front wheel off as well. But even if that's not, that slides under because the bike's up on two little rails underneath. It doesn't matter what bike you've got. You could have a Virago, a Dragstar, a VTX, any of the cruiser bikes that have got straight frame rails will stand up on one of those, and that does the job. You can do any amount of maintenance, you can store it on that. It costs absolute pence. Excellent way to make yourself a bike frame, and it costs nothing. You can use it for loads of other things as well. I use it as a bench, a rest. There's fiberglass paint on it, all sorts of things. I've beaten pieces of sheet metal over it. If you watched when I was making this, I beat this curve over the edge a bit with a hammer. It's just a great workshop tool. So there it is, 50p bike stand. Make it yourself. Get a little bit of practice getting it up there. Getting it off is the same practice. You've got to slide it off the edge gently, possibly two people. Take it steady and watch yourself. But there it is. Thanks for watching Delboy's Garage. Go make yourself a bike stand. See you next time.